Hello and welcome again. Alright, first of all, I know I said I wasn't going to make a video, but after talking to some upset members of the league, I decided there was a lot of exciting things that happened this week, and the show must go on. Alright, for last week, Jen's Chica Victorioso squeaked by with a 1-point victory over Mike Ruffels Mean Machine 35. Mike made a great run on the Monday night game to come back within 1 point, and they just couldn't get the job done. It didn't help that Josh Freeman ran a 1-yard touchdown in instead of giving it to LeGarrette Blount. But shit does happen, and somehow she remains the last undefeated member this year. So good luck, Jen. That horseshoe in your ass can't last forever. Alright. Rob Lewis is now the heavyweight champion of the world by defeating Delroy's Team Flim Flam. Delroy was once considered a playoff contender and is now finding his way on the bottom of the division. Del, we know you lost again. Get used to it. There's going to be plenty more where that came from. Alright, and in the first brother matchup, JR proves to be the bigger brother by beating Mike Bell for the second season in a row. You know what they say, first time is luck. The second time, you're just a way better fantasy football player than your brother, despite what he may think. And in the battle of the bedroom, Nikki beat me, and turns out she does wear the pants in the relationship. We all knew it. I told myself that it's untrue, but the truth came out. Now, I never said I was going to be perfect this season. Everybody's going to have a loss. Mine just got out of the way early, and now I'm good for the rest of the season. So watch out. Alright. Steve and Dean had a pretty good matchup last week. Steve proved to be victorious, but now is without Andre Johnson for the next 2 weeks. So that could pose some troubles. And Tony scores a whopping 174 points to prove that Jim still doesn't have a shot in this league. I don't know what he was thinking by putting Des Bryant on the bench, but whether it's Jim or Dylan, either way, this is not going to work out. He's got to do something to even have a chance at the playoffs, or even get a win for the rest of the season. He may be stuck at 1. Okay. Aaron Rodgers and Beanie Wells combined for 81 points for Tony's new high score. That is just as much as JR and Steve both had separately, and greater than Dean and Mike Bell's team. And the Passwords Taco proved that he is the ultimate biggest brother by scoring more points than JR and Mike combined. So congratulations, Tony. You deserve it, buddy. Alright, and on for this week's matchups. First off, we have Delbert Roy and Spencer. This is going to be like Tyson fighting an infant. Dell's without Ray Rice, Felix Jones, Reggie Bush, and Billy Cundiff. Looks to be no match. I'm even thinking about only starting half my team just to make it fair. Yeah, I can't do that. Can't take the chance. Alright. We have the second brother matchup with Tony and JR. JR doesn't have Tim Hightower, Masakai, and Gibson, so his receiving core is going to look very shaky this week. And without his number 1 running back, we have to give this one to the Passwords Taco. JR, you just can't luck out 2 weeks in a row, buddy. Next, we have Jen and Steve. This is going to be an interesting game. Steve's without Andre Johnson and Laurent Robinson, and Jen is without her patented Ravens defense, which scored 35 points last week and propelled her to victory. We have to give the edge to Jen. We just like the matchups. And Steve starting Jacoby Ford, and there's no Andre. It's going to be shaky, but we still have to give this one to Chica Victorioso, barring she doesn't have anybody else injured. But we'll get to that later. Alright, here's the matchup of the week. Blanket Faces versus You Have No Shot. Right now, Even without Witten and Jabbar Gaffney, we have Nikki winning this game. The only reason is because, as of today, Jim has Roddy White on the bench. Yes, that's right. Roddy White on the bench. His best receiver he has on the bench. While starting, Lance Moore and Robert Meacham may be acceptable if you're a Saints fan. Nobody starts their third and fourth receiver, Saints third and fourth receiver, over Roddy White. And without Daniel Thomas and Dez Bryant to bye weeks this week, Jim also starting John Kuhn, who has to be a touchdown vulture in order for him to even stay in the game. So we give this one to Nicky. Alright, Dean and Mike Neufeld. This one's going to be interesting. Last time I checked, Dean was starting Jason Campbell versus Houston's defense, who put a hurting on Ben Roethlisberger last week. And Mike Neufeld has Joseph Adai and Pierre Garçon going against the Chiefs defense. So we like Mike Neufeld's matchup this week, so we have to give the edge to him. Alright, and the battle of the BFO. We have Rob and Mike Bell, best friends, going to battle against each other. Rob's without Anquan Bolden, Brandon Marshall, and Randy Moss. And Mike has lost Peyton Hillis, Ryan Train, and Devon Best. Now, as much as we would like to see Mike Bell get a win this week, we have to give this edge to Rob Lewis. Simply because Mike has Steve Breston and Dexter McCluster starting on his roster, who both have done nothing this year. And we feel we'll do the same this week. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Rob's quarterback, may face some troubles against Philadelphia this week. We're looking to rebound and prove that they are the all-star team that they once projected. So this week we have Spencer, Tony, Jen, Nikki, Mike Neufeld, and Rob Lewis winning the games as our projections. Okay. Alright, now time to wrap it up. For this week, I have a few last words to say. Alright. For this week's Come On Man, once again, is dedicated to J.R. Merritt and the Death to Sprickets for playing Donnie Avery. I mean, really, what are you doing? Like, what were you thinking by putting him in there? Like, JR's team, although found a win last week, looks like the goddamn replacements. So, there's no way that this is going to be able to last all season long. Alright, and I also decided that this week I'm going to create kind of like an opposite to Come On Man for someone who may have had a breakout player or made a good coaching decision by putting them in and ended up doing very well, and we're going to call it the Get Some Award. So last week's Get Some Award goes to Mike Neufeld for playing Pierre Garçon. I mean, 36 points, bringing it down to a 1-point deficit in the matchup was just ridiculous. Like, he single-handedly put the Mean Machine 35 on his back and drove them downfield. And he only lost by a few yards. One more point, the game would have been tied, and Mike Neufeld would have gotten the win because of the bench score. But unfortunately, Jen had the horseshoe in her ass once again, and is now going to be walking with a limp this week. Which brings us to the Chico Victorio's projected season-ending injury of the week. This week, we feel that Jermichael Finley is going to get hurt for a second season in a row and is going to be without another catch for the rest of the season. We don't know when it's going to happen. Personally, I think it's going to be the start of the third quarter. So yes, he had 3 touchdowns this year in one game, but that is going to be his season totals. So, with that all said, fuck you bitches, I'm out.